It's TDS Radio, Euro So Fab here as a part of our WIN series, our Women Impacting Now. We have our natural hair care specialist, the one and only Chiquita Steele on. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey girl.
Yes, honey. Thank you for joining us and
It's
being a
so
part of our series. So, let's kick things off. For people who might not know a little bit about your background, or even just how long you've been in the game, how many years of expertise do you have under your belt?
I always tell people when they ask me that question, I'm like, you want the origin story or where I professionally started? Because
Oh,
technically,
yes.
I've been doing hair. I wish I could go back photos in there. I've been doing hair since like seventh grade, but professionally, I've been in the game for 10 plus years now.
Come on, girl. Yes. Yes. Come on. Now, when it comes to being a natural hair care stylist, a lot of people think that, well, all I got to do is just wash my hair with any sort of natural product, and then just keep my ends trimmed, and that's it. But there's a science to it, and it's one of the things that you tend to always educate your clients with about just taking care of their hair and their needs, correct?
Absolutely. Like, there's a lot of unlearning and relearning that goes on in my chair. So whenever I get a client in, I like to gauge them, gauge where their knowledge is about their hair and hair in general and where they're getting their information because as informative as YouTube and TikTok or whatever social media platform can be, they get a lot of false information and because someone likes the way something looks, they don't understand what goes on underneath. There's a lot of details that they miss on hair care, period. Um, Ooh, I feel like I'm about to go off of a tangent.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Put it like this: natural hair. Some people think it's like this big thing to where it takes a lot of time and work, and that is so false. Um, the foundation of hair care, period, is making sure you're shampooing and conditioning on a regular basis, and caring for it with proper technique, detangling. All that plays a factor, but it's not just I can wash it with anything. You got to understand the nature of your hair so you know exactly what you need. No different from understanding how your body works, what food works for you, what don't work for you. Same thing with hair.
Hmm. And I think that that's a good thing for you for us to hit on, is a simple fact of just educating your clients in your chair, because so many people don't get that education, or they're taught like this textbook sort of, way of taking care of their hair, when that's not necessarily the case. So then, like you said, you're going to YouTube, you're going to Google, you're going to TikTok to try to find the solutions of why, does my hair curl like this? Why can't I get it to curl like this? Why is it shrinking? What product should I use to elongate the curl? And most of the time, there's not a lot of platforms to where you get that specialized attention. And I think that that's something, that sets you apart from a lot of stylists, to where when you're sitting in your chair, not only are you getting your hair done, but you're also getting a lesson of how to take care of your hair. Not everybody else, but yours.
Right. That's why I guess my tagline for my business is specialty care, all caps for your texture hair, because you got to think of your hair as kind of like a fingerprint. It's on the surface. Your hair is not going to be like anybody else. Yes, it may look like that, but you have a lot of other things going on in there. And when you come down to people like, well, what type of my favorite question? What type of curl I have?
Hmm.
Well, I'm like, I don't do that. Don't ask me that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Like you have different areas on the scalp, and in one area on the spectrum, you may have higher density but finer textures of hair. You could have multiple curls in one area versus another one, and there's some people that don't have a curl at all. We talking about black people now. Sometimes it just sits straight.
Right. Yeah.
It's educating them like, okay, this is your hair. This is what your hair does. These are the styles that will fit mostly for you because one size does not fit all.
Right.
Ooh, that is a hard. I judging people's expectations that they have about their hair,
Hmm.
and been called the hair dream killer. And I tell them, no, I am the realist when it comes to how you see your hair because you have these Coke bottle glasses on when you're viewing your hair. And I'm just like, no, that's not what that's not that. This is what
Right.
your hair is.
Right. And I think that's important too because we see, and that's one thing that I want to ask you. We see a lot of these Instagram ads where they're telling people if you put this oil on, your edges will come back. If you ingest this product, then your hair will be butt length. So how do you feel as a natural hair care stylist who has studied this when you see these ads that are targeting people and their emotions?
I get angry. Flat out, I get angry because it's all a marketing scheme to sell the
Mm-hmm.
product. And they're trying to make money and they use keywords and taglines to lure you in.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to hair loss, you have to understand what is going on. That can be an external, internal, or a combination of both. So you need to pair it with a professional and a professional person that deals with hair loss specifically because you can have multiple factors going on. And I always tell people it's not the oil that is growing your edges back. Ooh, this is a lot. This needs to be there's a lot on here. It's so much, but there are certain properties that will stimulate hair growth, but you have to understand the science behind hair growth because no oils, no supplements, unless they're formulated in a way, because there are some things that will help, but you have to understand what's going on with inside. But as a miracle pill, there's no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain chemical compounds that will help if they have those things in their vitamins or their oils, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a blend of oils you find in your kitchen. Your edges are not going to grow.
Yes.
Okay? Right. Did you understand these ingredients and what does what? And pair up with a professional so they can help you decipher through these things so you don't be wasting your money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when it comes to being a stylist,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I've seen over the years is that, you ladies get a lot of flack. And whether it's the way that you decide to charge your pricing or how you conduct your business as far as like deposits or, oh, you must come pre-washed and pre-conditioned and your hair must come blown dry before I do any sort of style. What are your thoughts on things like that?
Okay. First and foremost, I try not to tell other people how to run their business, but we are in the business of service. And when it comes to this, when you have folks saying you have to come prepared, that's a disservice to hair care, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself as someone who specializes in hair care when you're not caring for the hair, you're just styling it. You're a hair stylist,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I don't agree with it. And I've always told people if you're a stylist who requires deposits, I understand, but also understand the type of clientele you want to attract. I don't attract the type of clientele that requires me to have them put down a deposit.
Mm-hmm.
So I trust my clients. My clients respect my business, and they honor that. My prices, I know some people are like, oh, it's so expensive, but let's change the perception on that. You're willing to pay hundreds of dollars for some Brazilian Hawaiian silky hair to attach to your hair, but you're not willing to invest that same amount of money into caring for your hair.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
What, girl?
Just for the mic, just saying. Which one is more valuable?
Right.
So I charge based off of one, my expertise, my knowledge, and the experience I give my clients when they sit in my chair.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to come in here and feel like you didn't get your money's worth.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Right. And I think that that's another thing to note too. When we talk about Women's History Month or just women in general, the one thing that we can say that has been an ongoing theme for this month has been community, and just how much women need their community in order to persevere.
Mhm.
So now I see it in two ways. So this is a two-part question of, how does it feel for you to be someone where essentially women, when they're coming in with these problems with their hair and they're walking out where their shoulders are now back, they have a sense of pride and they're loving who they are, what does that do for you?
It makes me feel good. It feels like I'm actually a part of getting people to see their beauty as it is with their own hair. Like, I don't have anything against anybody who, decides to wear extensions. I wear extensions, you know, as a different way of expressing myself, or people who like decide to get relaxed and stuff. My problem comes in when the thought is I have to, the only way I feel beautiful or look beautiful is if I have extensions or straight hair. And I'm like, no, let me show you a different way. Or breaking the stigmatism of natural hair isn't professional, it can't be elegant, it doesn't look nice, it looks unkempt. And we have completely demolished those lies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when it comes to community and what you're doing for these women, who do you depend on? A stylist when you're in need, because everybody's coming to you and they're pulling from your energy. So where do you go to essentially get that energy back?
I had a joke. I was saying I'm a massage therapist. I would say this for the most part, like as stylists, we not only taking care of your hair, it's a whole body thing. Because in this chair, depending on how long you're in it, we're talking about life.
Mhm.
So we're kind of like psychologists too, therapists.
Mhm.
We're therapy in here as well as hair therapy. But for me, sometimes you have those clients where they will pour back into you,
Mhm.
and you'll get that burst of energy. But also, as a stylist, it's important that we take that time for ourselves to rejuvenate and recalibrate, because we do pour a lot into our clients. So the thing that I love to do is rest. First
Hello.
and making sure I take care of my body, because I am using my hands and standing on my feet. So as it was a joke, but yeah, I go to my massage therapist, talk to other stylists, especially because we understand what goes on in the field. Um, but pretty much it's really taking that time out to make sure that we care for ourselves so we can continuously to care for others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because there is a young lady who is a braiding stylist where she actually said she had to take an entire month off because she's like, my hands, my arms, everything is just so tired. But when you take care of your clientele, they're willing to wait out those breaks. Now I know that there are some that'll be like, well, can you just squeeze me in? No. But kudos to all of you stylists out there who are willing to listen to your body to say, I give me a moment, I need a break.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not all about the money. Like I said again, we are in the business of service. In order to serve well, you have to make sure you care for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for example, last week I have a client that has, when I tell you, a significant amount of hair. She has my hair, your hair, somebody else's hair, another person's hair on this one head. With multiple curls, along with a high density core. I mean, it's a lot of hair. It took me 4 hours and 15 minutes just to detangle,
Mm.
shampoo, condition, blow dry, trim, and just to put two braids in.
Oh Jesus.
4 hours and 15 minutes. And after that, I was shot.
Yeah.
Like, this business does a lot of wear and tear on the body that people don't realize. Like, I had a whole knot up here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what we charge, sometimes I'm like, it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's the best product. I make sure that I value your time. You're getting educated. You have my expertise. I am caring for your hair, and you can see that it's evident. Like, a lot goes into this, and this is not a cheap industry to stay in, because the tools and things we use alone can be very pricey. And
Right.
with inflation, everything has gone up. So to continue to do what I do, I have to make sure I charge appropriately, so not only I can run my business, but also I can live outside of doing hair.
Hello. Hello and good evening. So with that being said, what keeps you motivated as a entrepreneur in this industry that's ever changing, that requires so much physically and mentally to keep going?
I love what I do, point blank. I
Mhm.
really love what I do. And there is a passion behind hair that I have because there are other stories linked to hair, especially in our community and our culture. Hair is a big deal.
Mhm.
With this part of our culture being such a big deal, I have to make sure that I serve well within it.
Mhm.
Continuous education, understanding that in order to be considered part of the best, I have to make sure that I'm always seeking that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then for people who are just starting off, because I know that, like you said, you had a journey before you became licensed, you know.
Woo.
So for people who are on that path, on that journey where, they haven't taken the steps to be, legit just yet, what advice can you possibly even offer to them if they're even thinking like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know about this.
Well, my first question is why?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to do hair, period? Because people assume like they go to hair school and they learn how to do hair. And I tell folks, hair school does not, or cosmetology school, natural, whatever you go to, does not teach you how to do hair.
Mm-hmm.
Fine tunes the talent that you already have in hair. You have to have the passion and you have to have the talent. Meet with skills, then you're going to be very successful. But I also would like to tell people don't cheat yourself in the process, especially getting to the point where I'm at. Because some people will look at Instagram and instantly think, oh, I can go from doing hair out of my kitchen and owning a suite. It don't work like that.
Right.
There's to this, okay? And with each level, you learn something different. Now, I don't know how far you want to go, but always have the end goal in mind so you can map out the steps before to reach that goal. But I always say don't cheat yourself in the process of what you can learn by doing hair in the kitchen, what you can learn by renting a booth. Then, maybe you may be a traveling stylist, you go to people's homes, or maybe you're working at a commission salon. There are many things you can learn in each of those steps that will make you more of a well-rounded person in this business.
That's right. Do you think it's your passion and love for what you do that keeps you so disciplined?
Um, yes and no, because I'm naturally a disciplined person.
Mm.
So because I have those characteristics, I feel like that has actually, yeah, it does help me stay consistent in my business, being disciplined.
Hmm.
Meaning that in a way, people need you or rely on you, especially when you have so many other, there are, now don't get me wrong, there are other great natural hairstylists out here, but it's far and few.
Hmm.
So for those people, it's like, I'm serving. I'm in the business of service. So that comes with also being disciplined and making sure, like I said, serve well.
So then, speaking of serving well, because in the service industry, the hair industry, you have a lot of personalities that come to you. And then professionalism can sometimes sway because this is your art.
Mm-hmm.
So we often see, on social media where somebody is like, oh, I asked for this and I didn't get this, or this person was being rude or whatever have you. And we're in a space where outing people is the thing, especially in the beauty industry. So how do you deal with difficult, personalities, or even, some stylists who might have that off-putting sort of personality?
Woo! The first thing, always remain professional.
Hmm.
Always remain professional, no matter what, because this is your business. You are the representation of your business. So even though some people do get comfortable with their clients, I still make it known, hey, we cool, girl, but this is my business. And respect it. It's like setting those boundaries. I'm business first. We can kiki after this, even down to friends and family. I still treat it like this is
Right.
business.
Absolutely.
This is my livelihood. Um, so start off with that. Start off setting those policies in place because that will those problems. You have to have policies, you have to have systems in order so people can respond to them the way you want them to. But if you don't have that, not only for yourself, it's impossible to really set that up in your business and expect anybody else to follow it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then as a woman, I mean, because it is a woman-led, dominated industry, you know, what was the best lesson that you've learned from another woman? Because not to say that there aren't male hairstylists. We know there are, but you know, as far as a woman, what has another woman teached or essentially paid forward when it comes to you and your business?
Oh man, it's not just one woman. There's many women, like different stylists. Like where I started in the salon, like the group of women that were in there, I learned so much from them to help fine tune myself to where I'm at now. I'm like, am I supposed to drop names? I'll just keep it discreet. One was being like, because I can be very overly critical about my work.
Mm-hmm.
It will drive me crazy. In the beginning of my career, I would do a style, and if I didn't like it, I would take it all down and redo it. And another style was like, what are you doing? I said, it was terrible. Well, did the client like it? No matter what she liked. She ain't walking out here looking like that. She was like, stop. If you like it, let it be. But I'm like, my mindset is people work hard to come here and pay this amount of money. They shouldn't leave with nothing less. And I want to make sure that the amount of money that they pay reflects the service that I give.
Right.
So I gave myself a little bit more grace in that department. So kudos to that stylist who's like, hey girl, stop. She said, if you unbraid that braid one more time. Like being efficient and with my speed, I learned that from another woman. Like the way she just would gracefully go through someone's hair, doing like twists all around and how neat it looked. And I just remember just admiring her work. And I told her, I said, I wish I can twist that fast. She was like, girl, this is 20 years in the game. She said, you keep doing it, you're going to do the same thing too. And I was just like, okay. Heard so many things from other stylists. If one thing I could say, that's one part that I missed as far as working in a large salon is watching other stylists do their work and picking up different techniques and new skills from them. So I've learned a lot from a lot of stylists.
Hey now, come through.
Yes.
So how do you want to pay it forward?
Oh, glad that you. Where I want to take my business, I would say it is in the incubation phase of things. So eventually the end goal will be to open up a school so I can be that person to teach a next generation or so of how to do this business and do it right. Because like I said, hospitality schools they don't go that deep. They don't go that deep at all. But to pay it forward, I want to open up my school.
Yes, I am here for you. Yes, Chiquita.
I'm on the same world right now, but we working. We got the plan.
That's okay, girl. We done made that first step. So
I might forget, but we gonna
So I know you are booked and busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. But for people who are interested in your service or even just essentially your education, how wise you are, let people know how they can get in contact with you and how they can book.
Okay, so you can contact me, keyessentials33@gmail.com, or you can hit me up through Instagram, key_essentials in my inbox. All the information is there currently right now because I am booked to capacity. I will not have new clients, but if you would like to get on the wait list, you can email me and I have a wait list for potential new clients. That's how you can reach me, and you can check out my work on Instagram as well. I am on Facebook, but I'm not a huge social media person, but I do check it for messages. But email me is the best way to go.
Yes, come on, waitlist. You heard her. Thank you so much, Chiquita. I appreciate you, and I love your life. And somewhere, girl, find some time for me, honey. Find some time for me.
Oh,
It's CDS Radio.